Evening, everyone, and welcome to our weekly study session. We are going to go over some of the sections of the practice problems for the Ohio Division of Real Estate Salesperson exam. And I need you to help me on which subject matter we want to brush up on. I say this in jest, but I already have my real estate license. And I did quite well on the exam. So I need to know where you guys want me to spend my time teaching you. So contracts, thank you, Lisa, much appreciated. Give me 2 more sections so we know we have enough to go through. Contracts. Sounds good. Property ownership, math, finance. All right. There we go. That is what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and get some of that. Get some of that rolling. We'll start with contracts. Contracts is the single largest section on your exam. So being really strong in contracts is going to serve you really well in passing the national portion of the exam. Question number 1. Seller Sam decides to purchase Fire Bob's home. He submits a written offer stipulating that time is of the essence and that the offer must be accepted in writing by 12 o'clock noon 3 days hence. On the 3rd day at 11:30, Fire Bob telephones Seller Sam to say that he has decided to accept the offer as written. Do the parties have a binding contract? Now put an A, B, C, or D in the chat. A is no, Buyer Bob didn't wait until noon to accept. B, no, acceptance was not made in the manner specified. C, yes, Sam cannot revoke the offer. Or D, yes, Buyer Bob communicated acceptance to Seller Sam. If you don't know, put a question mark in the chat box and we'll spend some time explaining this a little bit more. So the answer is going to be B, because it is stipulated that acceptance must be in writing. Must be in writing. And so if the acceptance wasn't in writing, it doesn't qualify as acceptance, and therefore there is not a binding contract. So communicating acceptance is one thing, but it has to be done in the manner specified. Question number 2, a buyer and seller have agreed to all terms of a contract. Both have signed the document. One party would like to make a change. How would this legally be accomplished? A, it can be changed by mutual agreement in writing by both parties. B, it cannot be changed in any way. C, it cannot be changed. It can be changed by a unilateral codicil by either party. Or D, it can be changed by written agreement of the buyer and the buyer's attorney. As all the A's get into the chat, that is going to be the correct answer. You can change contracts. It happens all the time. It just has to be in writing and signed by all parties. Question number 3. In a face-to-face meeting, a farmer offers to pay a roofer $1,500 to install a roof on his barn. The roofer says, I'll do it tomorrow. What type of contract do they have? Is it A, express, B, option, C, voidable, or D, unilateral? What type of contract is this? Yeah, the A's have it again. Express, as in expressed in words, either spoken or written. Some contracts can be just expressed in words. All real estate contracts have to be written. Implicit contracts are ones where the parties are assumed to know their responsibilities. Ben is not quite ready to purchase a home. So he rents a home with the option to purchase after 2 years. The option to purchase is an example of a blank contract. Is it A, a bilateral contract, B, a unilateral contract, C, a mutual contract, or D, a promise and exchange contract? We got some A's and some B's in the chat. This is going to be a B. So unilateral contracts are one-way contracts, right? So in this, then anytime you see an option, that is a unilateral contract. Options are unilateral because one party has the option to activate the contract. So at the end of 2 years, there isn't a renegotiation of the sale price. It's in the contract. And if the renting party wants to buy, they can. So they're the only person that gets to decide. Uni as in one, like think unicycle has one tire. Bilateral requires both parties to agree. This is a standard purchase and sale agreement, but bilateral requires two decisions. The buyer has to decide to buy and the seller has to decide to sell. Buy like bicycle for two. Question number 5. Susan offered to trade her 4-bedroom, 3-story townhome near the subway station for John's 1-room cabin in the mountains. John promptly accepted her offer. A week later, Susan's attorney's office, they signed a contract setting forth the even swap. In light of the apparent wide disparity in the values of the two properties, is Susan obligated to fulfill her side of the agreement if she changes her mind before closing? The answer is, options are A, yes, because Susan initiated the contract. B, yes, if all elements of a valid contract are present, the adequacy and equality of consideration is not critical to its validity. C, no, Susan was under undue influence. Or B, no, John is obviously taking advantage. All right, it looks like the B's have it in the chat, and that is correct. The adequacy and equality of compensation for property is irrelevant in the validity of the contract as long as there is valuable consideration exchanged. Question number 6, Melissa went to the dry cleaners and dropped off her good wool coat to be cleaned. When the clerk accepted the coat, Melissa and the dry cleaning operation had just entered into what type of contract? A, implied, B, unilateral, C, complete, or D, executed? A is correct. This is an implied contract as we referred to earlier. It is not expressed in words or in writing that dry cleaner will dry clean that good wool coat. It is implied because they're a dry cleaner and a garment was dropped off. Question number 7, John, a buyer, makes an offer on Mary's home. Mary feels the offer is too low and makes a counteroffer. John is not interested in paying any more than his original offer, so he doesn't reply to Mary's counteroffer. 2 weeks later, Mary is desperate to sell and she calls John to accept his original offer. Does John have to purchase Mary's home at his original offer price? A, yes, as long as Mary has signed the offer. B, yes, he is bound by the original offer that Mary has now accepted. C, no, John has no obligation to purchase. Or D, no, too much time has passed before Mary accepted. bonus points for the people who answered C. Why does John have no obligation to purchase? C is correct, but why?
He didn't sign anything or agree to it.
Ian has it right. The first offer was rejected, right? So a counter offer was made. The counter offer actually has two components. One, it is a rejection of the original offer and the submission of a new offer. So when an offer is rejected, and it's important that your clients understand this, that offer's dead. There's no resurrecting it unless it's drawn up on a new piece of paper with a new contract and a new everything involved. When they counter offer, they're rejecting that original offer through and through. Question number 8, Adam and Jenny enter into an agreement wherein Adam will buy Jenny's house at the asking price if Jenny will install a roof, and if Adam can qualify for a loan sufficient to cover the purchase. Until the roof is installed and financing is obtained, the contract is said to be A, executed, B, executory, C, voidable, or D, rescinded. If you don't know, put a question mark in the chat box. Everybody should be in the chat box, every single question. We got a couple B's here, so let's go with that. All right, an executory contract is one in which parties have agreed to terms, but conditions remain to be fulfilled. Once all the conditions are met, everything that remains, the only thing that remains is closing. That's when it's said to be executed. The language that you'll hear in the market around this is, getting a signed contract is initially with terms or conditions rather. It's going to be said to be contingent, right? Contingent on a home inspection, contingent on appraisal, anything like that. And then there are, pending, which is, or, through inspection, so anytime there's still terms to be fulfilled, it's executory or contingent on other things. Once all the boxes are checked, the financing secured, the inspection's complete, the appraisal's complete, then you're just waiting for closing. Question number 9, the meeting of the minds refers to A, the closing of a contract, B, the consummation of a contract, C, offer and acceptance, or D, consideration. What does the meeting of the minds mean? So the meeting of the minds, it refers to offer and acceptance, right? And that means that everybody has what's called mutual assent. And that means everybody has reviewed the contract and signed it, right? And that no changes were made between the signatures of one party and another. So it means everyone comes together, reads, understands, and agrees upon, meets from the mental mind standpoint. That's what it refers to. It's not the closing or consummation or consideration. It is simply the offer and acceptance, so that one party knows what they're offering, another party knows what they are accepting. Question number 10. A home buyer wishes to make an offer on a home, but has little money. On the contract, he puts down $0 earnest money. Which of the following is true? A, the contract is not valid without earnest money. B, the contract, when signed by the seller, is fully enforceable. C, even if the seller signs the contract, the buyer is not bound to it. Or D, the minimum earnest money must be at least 1% of offering price. Which one of those statements is true? Yeah, B is correct. There is no minimum amount of earnest money. There's no requirement from earnest money. It certainly weakens the offer and will raise some eyebrows, but there is no standard for that, or there's no requirement for that. The standard is 1% to 2%. Question number 11, Walton decides to sell his cabin on the lake and offers it in a letter to his regular postman, Bill, at the price of $5,000. The next day, Walton receives a note from a neighbor, a close friend of the postman, who says, I accept your offer. Is Walton obligated to sell to the neighbor? A, yes, because acceptance was within 3 days. B, yes, because both the offer and acceptance were in writing. C, no, because only the offeree can accept an offer. Or D, no, because no licensed agent was involved. And C is going to be correct here. Only the offeree can accept the offer. You can't write a purchase agreement on 123 Main Street and the person at 124 Main Street accept it and say, hey, okay, you bought my house now. And so since the Walton had made the offer to the postman, only the postman could accept it. It is not transferable. Question number 12, seller Joe's agent personally delivered Mary's offer to buy his house. Joe said he would like to think about it for a couple of days. Later that week, without making a single change in the contract, Joe decided to accept Mary's offer and signed it. Then he addressed it to Mary and went to the post office and mailed it. Is the contract binding for both parties? A, no, because Joe didn't give it back to his agent. B, yes, because all it required was Joe's signature. C, yes, because Joe sent it to Mary in the mail. Or D, no, because Mary had not received it from her agent. So we got some C's, D's, and B's. The answer is going to be C. It's a little thing known as the mailbox rule, right? So just signing it isn't good enough. You have to communicate acceptance. Now, communicating acceptance could be handing it to an agent. That agent drives it across town and hands it back. In this case, the mailbox rule says that if it goes in the mailbox and the flag up, or if it's dropped off at the post office, it is acceptance has been communicated. And so that is in fact under contract. Question number 13, which is true of a voidable contract? A, a voidable contract may be enforceable at the option of the innocent party. B, a forged contract is voidable. C, all parties to the contract must have reached 16 years of age or it can be voided. Or D, a single real estate contract cannot be, or excuse me, a signed real estate contract cannot be voided. What is true of a voidable contract? A is correct. The voidable contract may be enforceable, but only by the innocent party. So if there is an error in a contract that favors or is committed by or instigated by one specific party, it does not automatically void the contract. It just makes it voidable, and it's only voidable by the innocent party, such that if there's one party, involved, like let's say you go in under contract with a minor, that minor can void the contract, but as the innocent party, they can also move forward with the contract and enforce that contract. A forged contract is, to your question, Pauline, if why is it not B? Is if the contract is illegal, it is void automatically. So forged means, you signed my signature. That's not voidable. That's just illegal, right? If there are, elements of fraud or misrepresentation, right, but the parties involved are the parties involved, then the injured party could still, the party that is being frauded or the fraud was committed against, they could still move forward with the contract. If it's forged, it is simply an illegal contract and automatically void. There is no innocent party in a forged contract. Does that make sense? Question number 14. Old man Jones wants to settle his affairs prior to his death by selling his land and giving the money to his children. Broker Bob lists the property and markets it. After 6 months, an offer from Widow Smith, who lives in the next county, is received in the mail. Jones immediately signs the contract without change, and Broker Bob drives it to the next county to deliver a copy to the widow in person. Which might prevent this from being a binding contract? A, Widow Smith is incompetent. B, Widow Smith dies before Bob can relate Jones' acceptance. C, either she's incompetent or dies, or D, nothing. Which one of these would prevent there from being a binding contract? C is correct. Incompetence and inability creates an inability to form a contract, incapacity, or death. Right? If the person party to a contract dies while under contract, that contract is terminated. Question number 15. Broker Bruce is working for client Jim, who wanted to buy a lot from Tom. Bruce submits to Tom a purchase and sale agreement. It is signed by Jim and stipulates a price of $25,000, a sales commission of 6%, and a closing within 9 days. Tom accepts the price, changes the commission rate to 5%, the closing period to 45 days, and initials the changes, then signs and returns the contract to Broker Bruce to give it to Jim. Is the contract valid at this point? A, no, because there was no meeting of the minds. B, no, because the broker's commission is non-negotiable. C, yes, the contract is in writing and signed by both parties. Or D, yes, Tom initialed his changes. A is correct. There was no meeting of the minds. Uh, changing the terms and initialing them is something you can do, but signing it only forces it back to then have those changes reinitialed or initialed by the other party, at which point those are accepted. So if there's a contract with only one set of initials on changes, it's not a contract. All right. Good job, gang. Let's see, what else did we want to talk about tonight? Contracts, property ownership, and then math. All right, so let's do property ownership quick. I think this is a brief one. All right, 10 questions. Question number 1, when a firm is not paid after furnishing material for construction of an apartment building, the firm may file A, a deficiency judgment, B, a mechanic's lien, C, an estoppel certificate, or D, a writ of liability. B is going to be correct. The mechanic's lien is going to be the appropriate recourse for the firm. Question number 2, a tenant farmer, upon being told the field he farms has been sold, may have to A, replant to assure the new landlord has income, B, vacate the property, but with the right to harvest the crops at maturity, D or C, plow under his crops, or D, vacate the property at once. Which one may be the case here? B is correct. Yes, they have to vacate the property, but they do, under the doctrine of enablements, have the right to come back and harvest their crops. Question number 3, which type of description is inadequate for describing property in the deed? A, the lot number, B, the rectangular survey description, C, meets and bounds description, or D, the house number. The house number is correct. The address is not part of the legal description. The other ones are. Question number 4. A buyer executes a chattel mortgage in favor of a lender. Which type of property would be covered by a chattel mortgage? A, office, furniture, and equipment. B, newly installed furnace. C, real estate, or D, an automobile. A is going to be correct here, as a chattel mortgage creates a lien on personal property. While an automobile is personal property, it is not connected to real property like equipment, furniture, furnishings, those sort of things would be. Question number 5, real property rights are defined in terms of a bundle of rights that includes the rights to A, build a house, B, sell at a cheap price, C, grow flowers, or D, all of the above. D, all of the above, is going to be the correct answer here. Your bundle of rights allows for use, enjoyment, and disposal of the property as you wish. Question number 6, a commercial tenant offers a bank his showcase, furniture, paintings, and other items that he has placed in a rental property. In favor of the bank, the tenant would execute A, leasehold estate, B, a mortgage, C, an easement, or D, a chattel mortgage. The D's have it, and that is correct. While a mortgage encumbers real property, a chattel mortgage is a lien on personal property. Number 7, a garage door opener is considered a fixture. As such, it would be an example of A, prescriptive easement, B, adverse possession, C, constructive annexation, or D, actual annexation. The answer here will be C, constructive annexation. Actual annexation is physically attaching something to the land, right? So the shed out back is, has a foundation and, is physically attached to the land. The constructive annexation is that the garage door opener goes with the garage door, and that garage door is actually annexed and part of the property. And so constructively, the opener is annexed as well. Question number 8, subsurface rights such as mineral rights are limited to use, and the limited right to use the air above the surface of the real property are commonly referred to as A, appurtenances, B, avionics, C, appliances, or D, actuaries. The A's have it, and that is correct. They are real. They're rights that go with real property. They can be sold separately, and may be limited by prior transactions. Question number 9, a grantor conveyed a vacant 1-acre tract of land to a grantee. The grantee receives A, 43,650 square feet, B, 5,280 square feet, C, 640 square feet, or D, 43,560 square feet. Don't know how you have to remember it, guys, but I can tell you you're going to need to know it. 1 acre is 43,560 square feet. It's the zip code for Sylvania, Ohio, if that helps, but 43560. You will need to know it. It shows up on your exam. Question number 10, attaching a fixture to real property, therefore making it a part of real property, is A, easement by prescription, B, the doctrine of implements, C, actual annexation, or D, adverse possession. C is correct. The attaching of a fixture to real property is actual annexation. Right. Probably time for one more. Real estate calculations or financing. Real estate calculations is going to be more math. Financing is going to have some math, but be related to, obviously, finances. Which one do you guys want? Finance wins the day, it would appear. More financing. We'll start with real estate calculations next week. Question number 1, a type of financing available for real estate mortgages in which a percentage of the interest rate will differ from year to year according to terms specified by the lender is known as A, a fixed rate mortgage, B, an amortized loan, C, an adjustable rate mortgage, or D, a fluctuating loan. C is correct. And these are coming back into style as interest rates creep up. The adjustable rate is something that we will see more of. Question number 2. Payment of debt in regular periodic installments of principal and interest is referred to as A, straight term loan, B, an assumption of loan, C, an assignment of loan, or D, an amortized loan. Yes, the D's have it. This is the most common type of loan. It is an amortized loan. Straight term loans are also known as interest-only loans. Question number 3, a clause used in a mortgage allowing the lender to call for the full payment of the mortgage because ownership transferred to a third party is known as the A, prepayment clause, B, the alienation clause, C, the hypothecation clause, or D, the appreciation clause. Lots of B's and lots of question marks in the chat. Let's go with the B and see what we get. That's correct. The alienation clause, sometimes known as the due on sale clause, causes the mortgage to become due when the property is transferred. Question number 4, while both the mortgage deed and mortgage note are signed by the borrower, the note is A, retained by the borrower as a reminder of its maturity date. B, signed in duplicate with a copy each for the buyer and the bank. C, not recorded. D, not really necessary. We have a majority of B's in the chat, so we go with the majority rule, and that is not correct. The note is not recorded. The deed is recorded to create the lien. The mortgage deed is created to create a lien on the property. The mortgage note is a personal promissory note retained by the bank. It is not signed in duplicate because that creates 2 debts, and you don't want that. So you don't want B. Don't do B. It doubles the debt. You don't record the note because it's personal promissory note. You do record the mortgage deed because it creates a lien. Question number 5, which word or clause in a mortgage pledges real property as collateral for debt? Is it A, the acceleration clause, B, the accretion clause, C, the acknowledgement clause, or D, the hypothecation clause? All right, looks like we have a majority of C's in the chat. And the answer is D. The hypothecation clause in the mortgage secures the debt by pledging the real property as collateral for the debt. That's what the hypothecation is. Acknowledgement is when the mortgagor signs the mortgage contract in front of a notary public. Acknowledgement is an action, or is what takes place when you actually sign the mortgage. Question number 6, the taking of another person's rights and obligations in a pre-existing contract is known as A, novation, B, assumption, C, assignment, or D, ostensible liability. B's and A's and B's and A's. Looks like we got more B's than A's, so we'll take it, and that is correct. Assumption involves taking or receiving another person's rights. Assignment is the giving of a person's rights and interest under the contract to someone else. While assignment is without release of liability, novation does release the withdrawing party from liability under a contract. Question number 7. A person receiving an adjustable rate mortgage would expect A, to pay the same amount of interest every month, B, to pay no interest on the loan, C, to pay only interest each month with the principal paid in one balloon payment at the end of the term, or D, see the interest rate fluctuate year to year according to terms specified by the lender. D is correct. Adjustable rates means that the rate is going to adjust and fluctuate based on terms inside of that contract or that mortgage specified by the lender. Question number 8. The term amortization refers to A, a balloon payment at the end of the loan, B, payment of debt in regular periodic installments of principal and interest, C, repayment of a loan by principal payment only, or D, interest only payments for the life of a loan. B is correct. Regular periodic installments of both principal and interest. Question number 9, a mortgage is recorded to A, assure the amortization of payments, B, to create a valid lien, C, to comply with truth in lending regulations, or D, to transfer title to the mortgagee. B is correct here. It is to create a valid lien. Question number 10. An alienation clause in a mortgage refers to the clause that A, pledges the property as security to a third party, B, allows the lender to call for full payment of the mortgage because the owner sold the property, D, calls the entire mortgage due if the owner moves outside of the United States, or D, allows the lender to charge a penalty for early payment. Yes, this is the inverse of a question we had previously, and that is B. And that is correct. All right, gang, that's going to do it for our questions tonight. I do have a couple of things that I want to throw in the chat. One, let me pull this up. One, I want to make sure you guys have the contact information. If you need to send a retake If you've scheduled your exam, if you, we need to know what day you scheduled your exam for. If you need a retake sent down, if you need to apply, please email kwgm.agenthelp@gmail.com. That's going to put it into the funnel where we can get you whatever you need. I'm going to encourage you guys. There are 75 days left in 2022. Get your exam scheduled ASAP. Take it. Pass it. If you don't pass it, get back in there and take it again. You could get 3 more testing opportunities in before the end of the year if you are aggressive about it. And the more times you take it, the more likely you are to pass. Now, if you've passed one or the other, state or national, I'm going to put in the chat the breakdown of the questions, because it's really important that you know you are not all sections are created equal for the exam. That means that there are more contracts questions than there are property management questions, and you should study and split those accordingly. And then finally, if you have not joined, I'd encourage you to join our Facebook group for the future real estate agents of Northeast Ohio. That's going to be a place where you can get other study tips, tricks, find study partners, ask questions in the group. I encourage you all to be active in that group and to take advantage of everything that is there, as it will allow you to maximize the opportunity. And that is important. If you ever have any questions or need anything else related to exam or study materials, please feel free to email me. But if you have not applied, if you need to send down a retake, or if you have scheduled and you need to let us know when you're scheduled for, please email kwgm.agenthelp@gmail.com. We will get you everything that you need. And remember, 75 days left in 2022. Make it the year that you are licensed. Let's get your exam scheduled and get you rocking and rolling. That's all for tonight, guys. If you need anything